get the bottom part of this dress done. The long skirt underneath those ruffles, and that's what's next. Hey guys, we're almost finished with these vlogs, so I hope you've been watching. If you're loving these vlogs, please give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't seen it from the very beginning, please go to the very beginning and see it till now, because we're almost done and you get to see the whole thing with the finale. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and put that bell notification so you don't miss any of these vlogs. So in the last episode, we lined the whole section from here to here underneath, inside of the dress, to clean it. We accomplished putting that zipper in again. It's not going to fit the dress form. You have to see the last episode to understand why. And so in episodes before, I had gathered all of this bottom part of the lace with its lining to a long length. Now that I have this here, and I do want it to fit me, and I do also want it to fit me in length, but I want it to be slightly adjustable in case someone maybe purchases it, or whatever I decide to do with it afterwards is a little bit taller. So I think I have an idea. I want to show you that next. Before I show you close up of the skirt, I wanted to show you that I'm wearing my highest heels as much as I can, and I want to get my length from the pit of the neck. So I'm putting the tape measure at the one point, touching the floor, and I'm standing up straight, and I'm putting this to the pit of my neck so I can get that measurement, and I have 56 inches, more or less. So 56 inches, I'm going to put it right there at the pit of the neck of the dress form, so I'm going to know how far down I need to go with that skirt. All right, let's show you that skirt now. Okay, hopefully I'm close enough to you so you can see what's going on, but here is the dress part of it, and this is the part of the dress lining that goes with the ruffles, and then the one that goes, and the clean finish lining is right underneath here. And you can see I have quite a bit of an extension here to play with. That's my trick. I'm going to go a little bit higher here than normal and leave this little bit of excess, so if I ever have to adjust that gathers, I can do that with that. So that's what I think I'm going to do, is my little trick. So now that I have the tape measure here, we know what the end of it is. If I'm going to go about 2 inches down from where the ruffle ends and the lining begins, there from that point where that pin is, you can see from the bottom to the top is 26 inches. That means my skirt has to be a finished length of 26 inches to that line. That means I have to cut any extra here that is longer than 26, and it is longer. So I'm going to just have to measure it on the flat, and you can see I'm going to put the tape measure from the bottom like that, and then I'm going to cut a good amount. Well, I have to have seam allowance. I'm probably going to be 26.5 or 27 to be safe. So I'm probably going to cut a few inches off of that, but I'll show you that on the flat. So here I am on the flat. This is because a large skirt, we're going to be doing this on the floor. And I'm measuring from the bottom of that ruffle tip to 27 inches. I'm going to make a marking, and that's approximately 3 inches down from where I was before. And I'm just going to go ahead and put a marking so I can go ahead and cut this and regather this skirt. Let's just measure from the bottom to 27 inches so I have enough room for the seam allowance, and I'm just going to go ahead, and that's about 3 inches down from the edge of where it was before. So I'm going to go ahead now to the marking. It's approximately 27, which is right there, and just make sure my marking is nice and perpendicular. There we go. Okay, I'm pinning the lining to the lace on each layer right now. I'm going to do the front, top, and then I'm also going to do the underneath. making sure that that's secure. I'm going to turn this here as well. Okay, I'm going to actually do the gather stitch, but even before I do that, I'm going to marrow these pieces together, just one lining with the lace so that it can be detachable and not married all together with the top part of the dress, if that makes sense. And I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I actually gathered up the bottom part of the skirt lining and the lace together. I knotted in strategic points. Now I measured it to this lining. Remember that extension that we talked about? This extension is going to allow me to just be able to give another inch or so to the length if I had to for a model or whatever I decide to do with the dress afterwards. So I'm gonna, in order to know where that seam is, I actually put like a thread marking. I stitched the line so that there is a thread marking of where that line or where that seam line will be. So in order to have that right, I've got put a needle and thread, and I'm doing a basting through all the layers, the gathered part of the layers as well as that lining. So I'm going to go through all of the gathers, check it in the back that it's on the thread marking, and then back up. And I'm going to base this all along to make sure that it's on the right spot before I sew it. So I'm just checking the front, checking in the back, and making sure it is on that line like it needs to be, the back and the front. I'm going to go ahead and do that all the way along this skirt before we actually sew it on by machine. And there we go. Just going to continue the basting thread. I'm going to knot this one because it's already too short. And I'm going to continue that basting thread all the way along before we actually sew it. Okay, that's what I'm doing next. So guys, one of the things I pride myself off of is that I'm able to translate my sketches or other people's sketches and make it reality, even to the proportion. And I am very pleased because I believe with my original sketch that we have the proportion exactly like it should be. So that's exciting to me. And we have it this far. It's not finished. There's a lot of stuff inside that has to be done, and tweaking and pressing this and steaming this the proper way. But we did it. It's finally done. You saw it on me. You know that it fits me. But I am going to try to look for a model. Anyways, if you love this video, give me a thumbs up. Share these videos with your friends. Check out my vlogs from the very beginning so you can go on this journey with me. We're almost done. See you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.